All right, welcome back, guys. Today we have some BSR5 for you, which is the very new R5 idea proposed by Aced Gaming, I believe, the other day, like literally within the past week, on Reddit, YouTube, Twitch. It's been everywhere, and I haven't had the opportunity to test it until now with free rune removal. So I thought I'd give it a try and kind of share my experience with you. I'm just gonna have it running in the background. My team is on the far right, and we'll talk a little bit about what's happening. It's a really nice R5 playstyle that basically only has one DPS check, and it's your Bale. If your Bale can meet the DPS requirements, you're in good shape. Everything else is kind of an afterthought. I mean, you want to stack them in the correct speed order, and everything needs to be on Double Fight Will. Your Bale needs to be on something Will, probably Rage. And then you've got two monsters that their whole job is just to die and fuel Bale stacks. So that's the whole concept. It sounds crazy. Like, let's pause it. Can we pause it really? Yeah. I will let it run. We'll get it on the next one. But, you know, when I heard about it, I was like, oh, that's something that must work every once in a while. No big deal. It's interesting. You know, there's always a million ways to do things, but, you know, it's probably not what I'm going to do. I can run KB5 with Katarina Bale. I'm going to do that. That's fine. But, I mean, I tried this with a couple guildies, and we have not failed yet. We messed around with leads, we tweaked some stuff, and we just didn't fail. It seems very, very reliable. The turn order seems very reliable, and the damage seems very reliable. It, I think, might be a hair slower than Cat KB5, maybe like 10 seconds, something like that. But it really books it, and you can see the runes. Like, the funny thing is the runes on the monsters that are meant to die, they are intentionally really weak. I almost wonder if mine are too weak, but their whole point is just to die. And so we start chatting and trying to figure things out. If I could spell, I would say. I wonder if I'm dying too soon. But next time around, we'll take a look at the team setup, because I think that's pretty important. All right, well, there's an Immensity. Fight Will. I'm going into Cyan, which is a huge mistake for people that know what's going on. I'm doing it completely wrong here, and it's still working. Basically, my mistake is my Water Joker is not awakened, and so he doesn't get his revive until he's awakened. And it took me a couple runs to figure out what I was doing wrong, but it's still working. So there's the runes on the Joker. Just trash. This is what I was like, wait a minute, why are you dying? You're supposed to be alive. And then I realized, yeah, I need to actually awaken him. So we might do that, but I got a couple other options. But basically, it's a really great way to do it. I don't think it syncs up quite right with KB5 though. The way the turn orders work, you kind of need, I think you need most everyone on the BS5. I think. I haven't done extensive testing with people on KB. We've all just been on BS and we've been figuring things out. One thing that seems to work, and I don't know that this was included in Aced Gaming's thread, is it kind of seems like you only need one reviver monster, one monster that dies and comes back. We've all tried it with the other monster being replaced by something else. I think Shiwas were used. As long as you can survive the jump but die at 50%, you're good. So you get kind of the same effect. It might be a little less safe because your Bale's less likely to be supercharged. Here's me being like, wait, what am I doing with my life? Trying to figure out what to do. So I end up switching my Joker to a backup Perna that I happen to have. And that worked great. It does everything you want. One of my teammates used the Wind Anubis, which also has a revive, but we think might not be as good because he immediately gets a turn after he revives and it messes up the turn order. See the Anubis there? We kind of think maybe that's not as good. It never failed, but it may not be as good. The Water Warbear and the Fire Giant Warrior are fantastic. They do great. I don't happen to have one. So that's what I don't use one. One thing it seems like you need a monster that can live in the front line the whole time, so that once everybody's dead, the guy will hit your front line a little bit harder and not just wail on your back line. So I'm using the Immensity, OPT Travels using the Fran, and YAMZZ is using his Immensity as well. You'll notice we've got Lawrence here. I brought a Shayna. Those are all automatic defense breaks. Something that Aced was saying is pretty good, automatic defense breaks. My only issue is I had to make my Fran fight Will, and I wouldn't mind having an actual usable Fran, so I might build another Fran 5-star or maybe even 6-star for this. But I had a backup Shayna that now I'm not using because, you know, Shayna. So that fits in perfectly there, and my little backup Perna works pretty well also. So I think everybody have a lot of different options. I think the base of this is so strong that there'll be a lot of play. People will play with it a lot and kind of get it just right. And I think it might be the new standard. My BALEYGR is not skilled up on his second skill, so that's how much wiggle room I have in terms of damage. Like, if you could get yours within 25% of mine, you're probably fine because I'm not benefiting from the skill ups, whereas in theory you will. You're gonna need, though, max towers. You're gonna need like Fight Will and everybody. An attack lead, maybe 2 is good. We've got the Fire Shiwa lead and the Lauren lead, which is nice. So there definitely are still requirements, but it seems very stable, very smooth. Way more than I would have ever thought if we knew that, you know, we were gonna go play R5 and 2/6 of our team, 1/3 is just gonna be wiped out. The nice thing about it too is it can coexist really easily with KB5, because the only difference, like, I'm using the same Emesity as KB5. I just speed tuned around that Emesity, and I basically made my BALEYGR into a combo of Cat and BALEYGR. I made my best BALEYGR combo of those two. So now I just have to rerun my Cat as not as good as Bale, but still good enough, you know. So I'll still have both options. And what's nice is those 2 monsters that die, they're just on trash runes, like total trash. Like, I had to go farm trash runes for them so they wouldn't get too many stats. All my fight sets or fight runes I've kept have too much speed or too much HP or whatever. So kind of weird. But yeah, the requirements are great. Like, all the other Fight Will sets were just runes I had sitting in inventory, so it actually did me a favor and kind of cleared out my inventory of some trash. So yeah, I'm really impressed with the way it runs. We're gonna fast forward just a little bit and we'll go take a look at the runes on my monsters in a little more detail, that way you can pause it or whatever. People ask about the speed tuning. It doesn't seem to matter. The main focus that I got from Aced was, you know, you want everything between 130 and 170 with your Bale at about 130. But your 2 monsters that die can be as slow as possible. My Perna is unawakened 96 speed. So those 2 dead monsters need to be under 130. Your other 4 monsters between 130 and 170. Just make sure you put them in the right attack order. That's the main thing. Man, I really can't spell in this video. I'm sorry about that, guys. Smooth, small. Oh, you got a violent speed. I didn't even notice that. Well, now I'm post salty. But yeah, so the speed tuning is pretty easy. Just, you know, if you have an Emesity you want to use somewhere else, hopefully in KB5, you know, just tune around that. That's what I did. It was no big deal. It's pretty easy mode. This is me throwing my Shiwa in there. It doesn't work great because she's too tanky and maybe not in the right slot of the speed order. So, you know, some things work, some things don't. Play around with it. So I think that's about it. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else. It's just the raid working a lot, which is kind of cool. And it's fast and it seems pretty rune efficient. So pretty nice. All right, let's dig into the runes. We're going to go ahead and close this down. Go here to my account. That was just a pre-recorded session because I was like, I'll record it. If it's terrible, then no one will ever know. And if it's good, then maybe I can talk about it. And it was really good. Okay, so that's the Perna. Just kidding. That's not the Perna. The Perna I used was here. These are my trash monsters. You can see I'm literally giving him nothing. I mean, look at this. These are farmed from scenario or crafted, just trash crafted, because why not? And then the other monster that's going to die is this guy. I think it was lucky he was awakened. I guess it doesn't matter. Maybe it does. I don't know. But I happen to have an awakened one, so I was like, hey, you know, give him some runes. I tried a Lapis for a little bit, but I didn't quite get the runes right. And then I can try this guy if I want to wake him up. I don't know if I want to even invest that much in him. If I've got that Perna that does it, he's only used for dying in this one specific spot. So I don't know that he'll get that love from me. Kind of sad, but that's how it goes. My Elsharian I thought about throwing in there. He's not quite tuned and he's too tanky as well, so I can't use him as the substitute for one of the dying monsters. Okay, so let's look at the Bale. That's the most important monster. Here's my Bale. Pretty beefy stats, like 2500 attack, 245 crit damage. Somewhere I read on the forums that you want to aim for 250 crit damage and plus 200% attack, roughly, if you can. So that seems like a pretty good rule of thumb. These runes are pretty good, but not like perfect, you know, which is nice. They don't have to be perfect. You can see I tried to skill him up once and that's what I got. I'm slowly crafting Bales, but it's going to take a while with a 50-50 shot of hitting the right thing, so not expecting a lot there. Is this the right Shayna? Yes, I think so. No, I am very, very wrong. This is the right Shayna. So it's on Will Fight, which I'm kind of afraid to level this up because it might give it speed, and that might be more than it needs, but she's just on, you know, leftover kind of runes. Just slotted in the right order on Fight Will. All right, Emesity. I mean, these runes are really sad to show you, but I think that's the point, right? They're we're showing off how bad they are. It's not like a rune. It's not some sort of rune feature video. It's look at the trash and how functional it is. So, you know, that's what we're doing. It works. All right, so 1, 2, 3. We're missing Fran. Poor Fran. Poor Fran. Oh, Fran, how you have fallen. Look at you. What did they do to you? How did they ruin you? That's actually not terrible. Maybe I'll max that out for a little heal. That's actually a good rune. I don't know how she ended up with that, but yeah, that's the state of Fran. I think I stashed Fran's rune on Emma, I think. I put them somewhere. I have to track them down. Are they? Yeah, that looks like Fran's rune. Yeah. Anyway, those are the stats. It's pretty simple. It's a tricky thing to put together, but I want to get this video out to you guys tonight if possible, so that anyone that has time left on free removal can maybe fiddle around with it. It doesn't take a lot. If you can get the bale, you can do the rest of it tomorrow or something. So anyway, make sure you check out all the links below. They'll be below. Of Aced Gaming and his plan and how he came up with this, and it's really fantastic. Give him a follow on YouTube, on Twitch, on everything. I'm definitely going to be watching what he comes up with, because it's pretty rare that people come up with a new way to complete the content in this game. It just doesn't happen that often, and then when it does, everyone's like, oh yeah, we're gonna all do that, and everybody does it. But to come up with it from scratch is pretty rare, and I feel like we don't see a lot of that. We used to see more of that, like when Foi was around and Syntac and those guys, but it's kind of died off a little bit. You know, everything's kind of settling into the meta, so it's nice to see something new, completely new, and try it out, and it works. So I'm pretty pleased to be able to try this out with Aced Gaming's strategy. So all right guys, I am out. Hope you guys enjoy it, and tell me how it goes for you. Hopefully it goes well and it's not just a total fail. But I will catch you in the next video. Take care, everybody.